Her happens in a heightened futuristic version of our world. It talks about falling in love with a version of someone and expect them to remain the same forever, but they never do. The irony is that Theodore Twombly does that twice. He falls in love with his wife, that in the time of their marriage grows apart from him, which eventually lead to the cusp. The concept of two people that once used to be equal, yet with time they evolve in their own different speeds, is rather scary. And despite the heartache, Theodore manages to fall in love again, however remarkably, with an AI that's called Samantha. The future in her has plateaued up to the verge of allowing its inhabitants to grow and evolve away from life's daily strains. Yet people still develop loneliness and longing. Her's future carries the sense of completeness, a future where technology does not have to shine to show its progressiveness. It is yet looking into the tactile past to make you nostalgic towards the future. Theodore's future contains connected plazas as you can reach seemingly anywhere with no cars by virtue of a well developed, comfortable public transportation system. Yet people seem to become further apart than they ever could be. A world with a parallel story of its own that becomes an influence and aspect in the movie as much as the dialogue. All of this overlaid on those spectacularly composed soundtracks that are responsive in nature, velvety in texture by Arcade Fire. The movie is mainly shot in two different cities, Shanghai and Los Angeles. Being photogenically futuristic, the cities themselves have a life of their own that blends in with the nature of the movie. Jones wittingly chose to overlay both of the cities, stitching them together brilliantly in a unified cityscape and call it LA. Her uses the technique of shallow focus. As in every shot when Theodore is in focus and the skyline behind him is blurred represents the detachment Theodore has with his world. The latter represents the use of the city as a tool of validation. Where there is shallow focus, there is confusion, resentment, and rejection in Theodore. The world is what Theodore needs to reconnect with, but the visual hints suggest rejection. That brings us to the exquisite atmospheric cues Spike Jonze implements in his movie. The one before Samantha, which reflects Theodore's fragmented thoughts and melancholy, and the one after meeting with Samantha. A warmer hint of tone reflects in an inclusion to Theodore and the city behind him, which represents a state of acceptance and connectedness. It is when Theodore gets closer to realizing that his answer to loneliness might not be in what he wants, instead, what he really needs. And as the movie progresses, Theodore's pain increases, yet through that pain, he gains connectivity to his surrounding, and he appears to be both with the city in deep focus.